Good morning and welcome. I guess we know the expression that it's the prerogative of a woman to change her mind. And I changed my mind about our meditation focus this morning because I was reminded of the studies done on group meditations. I wrote down some information, but you may also be aware of it. During the Lebanon War in the 80s, 1,000 people in Jerusalem meditated on world peace, and deaths dropped by 75%. Other crime, even car accidents, have been known to be reduced when a group of people get together to meditate. And I think before I get into some of the science, is that we all know that when we're around a happy person, we feel happy. And when we're around an unhappy person, it's not pleasant. It's difficult. And I'm not suggesting that we're going to be happy all the time. That's not the point. The point is the ripple effect. And not only that, it's our connection. So although I've been studying this idea of oneness, that there is universal oneness in consciousness. You have a consciousness and I have a consciousness. It's all one. I won't go deep into the science. I am not a scientist. I am still studying this topic. But it's our nervous systems that make us feel separate. And I'm trying to simplify this, and I know it's not simple, but each of us are wired differently. Each of us have a different upbringing, and things that we remember that are in our consciousness and in our unconsciousness and in our subconscious. So a lot of why we think we're different from other people is because we've had different experiences that have had different effects upon us. But the idea, and it's more than an idea, because the great Eastern philosophers and teachers have been studied by science. Even Einstein studied this topic of universal consciousness. Now they call it the unified field. And I think this is the reason why this morning, with what's going on in the world at this time, I thought, why not use our unified field to send waves of peace, of love, brotherhood, sisterhood. If we're all one, what in the world are we fighting about unless our nervous systems or our brains? And by the way, nothing exists outside of our minds. We make it all up. In fact, there's a little joke. Never trust an atom. They make everything up. Get it? Did you get that, tech guy?
That's very good.
Never trust an atom. They make up everything. That was the exact joke. So yeah, nothing exists outside of our minds. But according to our minds, everything is exactly the way we see it and perceive it. And of course, perception's reality. So as I said last week, It's not what we know that gets us into trouble, it's what we know for sure. And yet, if we don't know anything, that's obviously an unnerving thought as well. But let's just get back to this idea that there is a unified field. And just before we begin, okay, so yeah, in Eastern traditions, and then I'll just get to a little bit of the science, and then we'll send all of our love and our beautiful energy out into the world. But in Eastern traditions, it is believed that consciousness gives rise to the material universe. In fact, Deepak Chopra will tell you our bodies are truly manifestations of our consciousness. These are great subjects that I swear I've been studying for decades, and they're fascinating because they're so personal. They apply to me as much as they apply to you and everybody. So I if nothing else, if we learn to meditate, beautiful. But if you become interested and fascinated in what is consciousness and what is this unified field, and how is it that we are all connected? So anyway, back to this. So believing that consciousness gives rise to everything that is material, and none of that is solid. That's just all vibrations. You know that, right? You know that from physics. There is nothing completely solid. Everything, is vibrating and has a density or less than. But it would go on to say that then we create our own realities, which means we have incredible responsibilities with what we think, with what we believe, what we say, which is coming out of what we think and what we believe. So, as I said, this is the Eastern tradition that consciousness creates and gives rise to all matter. I'll use that instead of material. Matter, all matter. The scientific community sees the unified field that life is fundamentally one, and the basis of all life's diversity, all of it, the trees, the insects, us, all of it, that there is a unity and that you and I are one, and that at the basis of mind and matter is consciousness. So we come back to that Eastern philosophy idea. And that one consciousness is universal consciousness. And by the way, there were studies also done during COVID because people couldn't get together and they wanted to know, would meditation by video be useful, especially mindfulness meditation? The answer was yes. It absolutely was. To know that you're part of a group. Obviously, we're social animals, social beings, connection, sharing a common bond like meditation. And perhaps some of you have been to spiritually based retreats. And when we know that we've gathered for similar reasons, and I don't like to say the word goals, because the process of meditation is about not striving, not having any goals. So, but when we know we're together to do something that we all wish to do for whatever our reasons are, we feel an immediate bond. And so therefore, this being a new venture for me, it is going to grow, it's going to continue. I have some beautiful ideas about how to raise the vibration raise the energy, bring more connectivity so that we truly feel as one. Because that's the truth. And it's seeing ourselves as separate and different, better or worse, that creates an entire field of erroneous thinking, unhappiness. So, with those few words, I invite you, whatever you're sitting on, to wiggle around and let that which is touching the ground settle down. It is important to be comfortable. So whether it's a chair, whether it's a cushion, find that point at which you can feel grounded and settled, closing your eyes. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax your face. Relax your jaw. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Inhaling, and as you exhale, let your shoulders drop. And one more deep inhale through the nose, noticing cool air. And let out a big aligning your shoulders above your hips. Your nose aligning with your sternum. Your hands resting comfortably on your thighs. Palms can be up with your thumb and pointer fingers connecting, or they can be palms down. And begin by paying attention to your breathing. No control, just witnessing the movements of your body as you receive the inspiration and the groundedness of exhaling, settling. Whatever sounds you might hear, just notice them, or any thoughts that pop up. Just notice them. If something urgent comes to mind, just tell yourself you'll get back to it. Remember, you can't change the nature of the mind, but get to know it. and accept just as it is. And we never want to lose our minds. But we don't want our minds to control us. Obviously, emotions are part of the mind. And when we're overly emotional, we're rarely logical, because emotion is a distinct part of the mind. So when we're overly emotional, when I'm overly emotional, I let myself have whatever the feelings are: anger, sadness, fear. The word motion in emotion tells me I need to let them move. And I believe that when I accept them, I don't stop them, I don't block them, I don't really even judge them or compartmentalize them. I'm aware of them, I respect them, I feel it. And often in the feeling of something comes the healing. We know people who don't let themselves feel. We don't blame them, we don't judge them. Sometimes the feelings are so intense that they feel the need to numb themselves. Either shut down completely or turn to some substance or activity that can numb them or distract them, or in some small way give them temporary reprieve. We all do it. We're all one. As we get in touch and more intimate with self-knowledge, really knowing ourselves. To know another is wisdom. To know ourselves, some say, is enlightenment. We can spend our entire lifetimes trying to understand, know, love, accept, and revel in the magic, the wonder of ourselves. We find ourselves in poetry, and we find ourselves in pain, other people's pain. We connect. We can feel it. So at this time, knowing of the fear the strife, the war. We feel their pain. But because consciousness has no walls and love has no boundaries, we can send our wish for peace, our wishes for love, our caring awareness to the heart of violence, of wrong thinking, wrong attitude, and wrong actions. So in the minutes that we have left, I invite you to find your own word, your own feeling, to breathe and fill yourself up with the peace, the love, healing, unity, whatever it is. And as you exhale, know that those atoms are penetrating, and send them right across the ocean, right to where those tankers are, right to where the bombs are. Send that peace, send that love, that oneness. I will be silent for the next few minutes. Know how powerful you are. the expression that no one can help another without helping themselves. And I say this because when we send good vibrations of peace and love, harmony, healing to somebody, those feelings will be flowing into every part of our being, and hence the expression, no one can help another without helping themselves. Bringing your hands into prayer, pressing your thumbs up against your sternum and sitting tall. May all beings be happy. May all beings know peace. May all beings be free from harm. And may all beings live with ease. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Rub your palms together vigorously, generating heat and warmth. And then cup your palms over your eyes, bathing them in this blue-black warmth. Remember, your hands are extensions of your heart. So this is an extension of love towards your precious sight, vision. And then wash your hands down the side of your face. And just to close, a little piece from the poem Desiderata, to see the beauty and the troubles of the world through wise, hopeful, and compassionate eyes. Not an easy thing to do. And finally, nobody grows old by merely living a number of years. People grow old by deserting their ideals. Years wrinkle the skin, but to give up enthusiasm wrinkles the soul. Worry, doubt, self-trust, distrust, fear, and despair, these are the long, long years that bow the head and turn the growing spirit back to dust. So all of us have dreams, hopes for our futures. Never abandon them. Whether they happen or not, we don't know. But don't give up. Never give up on anything or anybody. Always hold a space for something miraculous to happen. And as I was saying to somebody last night in an email, I don't just believe in miracles, I depend on them. Thanks so much for being here with me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.